What's up, everybody? Here's your local picture here, Howard Atkins here. Today, I'm going to read out of Ezekiel chapter 1. And we're going to learn what the aliens look like and their spaceships, aka angels. So, Ezekiel chapter 1. Now it came to pass in that 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, I was among the captives by the river of Shabar that was in the heavens were open, and I saw a vision of God. And the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiachin captivity, the word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzu, in the land of Chaldeans by the river of Shabar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and the brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof was the color of amber, and out of the midst of the fire. Also, out of the midst thereof came a likeness of 4 living creatures. When it's talking about the 4 living creatures, it's talking about the 4 angels. So the living creatures was their appearance, as they had the likeness of a man, right? And body, stuff like that, right? Everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. Does calves have foot, or do they have hooves, right? Hooves, not feet. And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides, and they 4 had their faces and their wings. And their wings were joined to one another. They turned not when they went, and they went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they 4 had the face of a man, a white man, the face of a lion, black man, face of a lion on the right side. They 4 had the face of an ox, an Asian guy, on the left side, and they 4 had the face of an eagle, like an American Indian, Native American. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined to one another, and to cover their bodies. And they went every one straight forward. Whether the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not where they went. As for the likeness of their living creatures, their appearance was like the coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flashing of lightning. Now, as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures, with his 4 faces. When it's talking about a wheel, they're talking about a 3-dimensional figure. In those days, the only thing they had was a wheel. They didn't have 1-dimensional figures. If a wheel was a 1-dimensional figure, what would it be called? A circle. Verse 16, the appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of braille, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in a wheel. No, it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So you got two wheels within each other. Uh, so it's a circle in the middle of a circle, like a saucer. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes around about them four. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the Spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. See? Motor transportation. And these went, and when these stood, and when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of their living creatures, as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were the wings straight, the one towards the other, and every one had two, which covered his sides, and every one had two, which covered the sides of their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings. It was like the noise of the great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of stretch, the voice of speech, has the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings, and there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads. When they stood and had let down their wings, and above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of the throne, as the appearance of sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above it. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of the fire round about within, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw it as were the appearance of fire, and it was brightness round about, as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain. So was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. Chapter 2. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand up thy feet, I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me, and when he spake unto me, and I set me upon my feet, and I heard him that spake unto me, and said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that hath rebelled against me. They had their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. For they are imprudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there hath been a prophet among them. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words. Through briars, and thorns be with thee, and thou dost well among scorpions. Be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be that not thou rebellious like the rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. And when I looked, behold, a hen was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written therein limitations and mourning and woe. Chapter 3. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest. Eat this roll, go and speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth and caused me to eat that roll. He said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with his roll that I give thee. Then I did eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey as honey for sweetness. As he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to the people for a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not many people of the strange speech and of an hard language. Those words thou canst not understand. Surely has I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy foreheads strong against their foreheads, as a adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they have a rebellious house. Moreover, he saith unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee receive in thine heart, and hear thine ears, and go get thee to them of the captivity unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, thus saith the Lord God, whether they will hear, whether they will forbear. Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice of a great rush, saying, Blessed be the glory of the Lord from this place. I heard also a noise of the wings of the living creatures, angels, that touched one another, and the noise of the wheels, spaceships over against them, and a noise of a great rush. So the Spirit lifted me up and took me away, and I went in the bitterness in the heat of my spirit, but the hand of the Lord was strong upon me. Then I came to them of the captive at Tel Abib, that dwelled by the river of Shabar, and I sat where they sat, and I remained there astonished among them 7 days. And it came to pass at the end of the 7 days that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and I give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked ways, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die of his iniquities, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked ways, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I laid a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood I require at thine hand. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also, thou hast delivered thy soul, and the hand of the Lord was upon me, and he said unto me, Arise, go forth into the plain, and I will there talk with thee. When I arose and went forth into the plain, and behold, the glory of the Lord stood there, as the glory which I saw by the river of Shabar, and I fell on my face. Then the Spirit entered into me, and set me upon my feet, and spake with me, and said unto me, Go, shut thyself within thy house. But thou, son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee, and shall bind thee with them, and thou shalt not go out among them, and I will make thee tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and thou shalt not be to them in reprover, for they are a rebellious house. But when I speak with thee, I will make thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, He that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbear, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house. So if you like this content, like and subscribe, or share.